I'm Scott Allen Miller. It's the 27th of June, 2022, and I am here in Ciudad de Guatemala. I am in the Parque in Zona 10, in the middle of the highway. These things are gorgeous. I love how cool they do these parks in the middle of the city. It makes walking through the city so pleasant. This is such a walkable, and notice this is also a bike path, bikeable city. It's meant for people to get outdoors and be outdoors, and people are. There's not a ton here, but like I kind of made a point of getting away from the people jogging and biking and walking through the park so that I could kind of safely not interrupt everybody in the morning. But this is not the first of these that I have found. There's several of them all around the city where you can just move through the city in these huge parks, just through the middle of the main streets. It's gorgeous. So today is Monday morning. I finally have the first video from this trip has been, other than the shorts, has been edited. It is ready to upload. But we have essentially no internet out here. We have plenty to get like emergency messages from you guys, and we can text and all that kind of stuff. But here in the hotel that we have here, the city has great internet, right? The hotel we have has really weak internet with really bad Wi-Fi. I'm gonna get the sign here. This is the Reform District, and I'm gonna try to head across the street here. I think this is going to be safe to do while filming. This is a pretty busy area, so I gotta be a little bit careful. There's just park after park. You can see I'm gonna get people jogging and stuff here in their morning commute. And I'm actually coming by the Weston Camino Real, if you happen to be trying to look and see where I am and see this park. So because the internet has been really bad here, I've not been able to upload or do a lot of things, so I'm really curtailed. So it's taken all this time to figure out how to just edit a video, which I did late last night. And today we are headed out somewhere around noonish. I'm currently recording this about 8 a.m. to get the day started. We are heading out to Lake Atitlan. We're gonna take an Uber actually, and to cross halfway across the country on an Uber. I don't know if it's quite halfway, but it's a significant portion of the populated portion of Guatemala. We're gonna cross for $60 for the three of us in an Uber. That seems worth it considering everything else is gonna leave us with all of our luggage like on a bus or something, and we have so much stuff. Like, it's just so much to go wrong that for $60, and it's not like anything for three of us is gonna be free, right? So by the time you add up three of us paying for anything, even if we could do it for $8 each, that's almost half the price of the Uber anyway. So we're just going to take an Uber all the way to Lake Atitlan, to Panajachel, where we are going to get a boat, I believe that is the current plan, and head over to San Marcos, where we already have an Airbnb booked. They confirmed it this morning, and we will be staying there for the next 3 nights. They say that there's Wi-Fi and everything, so hopefully we're able to get things uploaded from there, and you'll I'm hoping not to fall behind on the videos. I had enough backlog to keep us going, so far we're okay, but the buffer is just about gone. So I'm feeling a little bit of a panic, and I'm out for a morning walk while the girls are still asleep, and I want to get this beautiful monument here in the middle of the city. And I'm going to continue on my walk, and you'll notice I'm going to record all the details of the last couple days right now. So I'm starting off the day with this, doing a walk to get started, and let's go head out to Atitlan. After I completed my long walk through the Parque de las Americas, which was fantastic, it was a great walk. I really enjoyed that. I got back to the hotel in Ciudad Guatemala and collected the girls. Actually, we did a bunch of packing, so we were there for a while, and then I collected the girls and we headed out to the Orchid Cafe that I had found on my very first day here and thought looked fantastic, but it was closed when I first got there. And I told Valentina about it, and she was like, "That looks amazing, we have to do that." And then we went yesterday and it was closed, and we were so bummed out that it was a Sunday and everything was closed. So today, on Monday, that's where she wanted to go. So and of course Yvonne is like, yes, a Orchid Cafe? Okay, down for that. So we walked down to Calle 14, and found the Orchid Cafe, which is really close to Diagonal 6, and went in, and oh my gosh, it was gorgeous with water fountains, like a waterfall interior right in the front, and a lot of aquariums and beautiful, beautiful flower rooms and orchids and all kinds of stuff all over the place. It was a gorgeous giant greenhouse with a lot of stuff going on, and a really nice cafe area down below, so you could sit in the middle of all that stuff. But it was actually kind of busy when we went up to the upper decks that looked down on everything. It was really beautiful up there, and sat and had breakfast. And I have to say, the best eggs Benedict I've ever had there. The actual hollandaise sauce was significantly better than I've ever experienced, and it was with salmon, which of course is the perfect thing for an eggs Benedict, even better than espinaca, than spinach, for an eggs Florentine. So we did that, we had breakfast, and really it was straight from there back to the hotel, and got everything ready and waited for our Uber. So we basically checked out, sat in the lobby, and there had been some miscommunications, and I was trying to get everyone moving along as fast as possible, and they were kind of like, oh, we're just going to take our time. And our host in Lago de Atitlan in San Marcos had said, please be here by 5. And so I was hoping to be out the door by 11, but we went to the cafe at 11. And I was like, are we gonna go? We're gonna go. And we got out, we checked out at like noon, and we had talked to the Uber driver, like, can you make it at noon? And then he's like, well, no, I can make it at 12:30, because they had scheduled for 1. And then they're like, okay, we pushed him to 12:30, but then he didn't arrive until after 1 because of traffic. So we ended up leaving 2 hours later than I had been mentally preparing for. And an hour later than they had been hoping to get out for, once I had expressed the urgency and pushed that we were supposed to be there, because Yvonne was convinced we only needed to get there, at a reasonable time. And I'm like, no, our host said she's only available till 5. Like, we need to get there. Like, it's a problem if we don't, because it's an Airbnb, right? And she specifically gave us a time. So, because she was not going to be around. So we did manage to get in the Uber at 1 o'clock. I did manage to nap a little bit, because kind of going through the city, which takes a really long time. I've seen it all, and I was very tired after the walk and after last night. So I napped a little bit, and I wanted to be fresh, because once we were out past the city, we drove through kind of south central Guatemalan highlands area, and it was absolutely amazing. What a great drive. Really appreciated getting to see so much of the country. I mean, it was only a few hours of driving, but it was absolutely fantastic. I can't believe what a beautiful country Guatemala is. So many miles of just these great, kind of more than rolling, but reasonably sized hills with just gorgeous farming communities and forest and cute little towns and tiny cities and stuff scattered all around. And all of it, I keep saying, Guatemala gives me so much more of a European feel than anywhere else I've been in the region. Like, you could drop someone in much of this region and simply say, what part of Europe are you in? And people would be like trying to figure it out and have no idea that they were in Central America. That's really the feeling I get from a lot of things in Guatemala. The lay of the land, the building of the towns, the way that the people are, the culture, the food, all of it has a very strong European style vibe. And we do get a little bit of a European vibe in Nicaragua, but it's very different. I feel that Nicaragua is a much stronger Central American influence, and I feel that the European influence up here, partially because there's so much more business with Europe, I'm sure, is much stronger in Guatemala. But the drive really was fantastic, and I did manage to record on the GoPro the entire way, but there was a ton of glare. It's really popular here for kind of obvious reasons: high altitude, lots of sun, so everybody's got the full screens on their windshields, so it's not really clear, and there's a ton of glare because I didn't bring polarizing filters with me. So we're gonna see how much of it is usable, but I'm gonna put it somewhere for sure. And it's the entire drive from Guatemala City all the way to not to San Marcos, but to Panajachel on Lago de Atitlan, which is, if you're way down that way. And really enjoyed that. One thing that really amazed me is that the first 2 hours got us all the way out to the lake. And then it took a good hour and a half or 2 hours just to go from the edge of the lake down to the lake. I could not believe how long that process was of just driving that last little bit. It was incredible, because the amount that you come down a volcanic mountainside and have to do switchbacks and come through little towns that are actually pretty populated but tight streets and wait in traffic. I would never have believed how much it took to go just a few miles in a region like this. Like, really surprising, and it explains why he was going to double the price to drive from Guatemala City to the lake was only half of the price of driving from Guatemala City to our village on the lake, which is only a little bit farther when looking at a map. But now that I'm here, I realize it was easily 3 or 4 hours farther drive away, like pretty crazy. You might as well drive to Quetzaltenango and come back. It's that far. So the drive was interesting. We got to see a lot of views. We came down into Panajachel and immediately found a boat, which is pretty cheap. I think it was 30 quetzales per person to come across the lake, so 90. But this is a rough boat. These are pretty small boats. They seat maybe 20, and they bounce on the water. So you're just slamming down on fiberglass over and over as you ride out. So my teeth hurt from how much it slammed, and it takes much longer than you would think. The lake is big and the boats can only move so fast. So that was a pretty long process. Got out to San Marcos, we unloaded, walked into town, had a little bit of struggle finding our place, but it was not too bad. And we got into our Airbnb. It's really kind of a hotel, but she operates as Airbnb just because she likes how Airbnb handles the process for her. She's very small. It's a 3-room hotel, so quite small, and we're the only ones here at the moment. But it was great. We got there. She was waiting for us right at the door, Terry, and she let us right in. I'm gonna walk up the steps here. While I was recording, the dock was busy, but now it is free. So I'm gonna head out and stand on the dock because it's nice, and there is a cute dog hanging out down there. Someone was down here meditating, just them and the dog, but they left, and the dog is still here. So let's go see him. So Terry was waiting for us and got us right into the room. It's actually a 4-bed room with 2 beds downstairs and 2 beds up in a loft. It's not entirely unlike our hotel on the ocean. This dog is so cute. He's like, this is my chill meditation spot here in the mornings. And so we got into our room, settled in, and it was pushing 6 o'clock at this point. Luckily, Terry and I have been talking on WhatsApp, so it was easy. And we just took a little bit of time to get into the room. And so by about 7 o'clock-ish, we went out and went looking for dinner. We were all pretty hungry. Terry had recommended this Japanese place that was really close. So we went around the corner, found that really easily. We were all kind of feeling like that sounded pretty good, and had a really amazing dinner. We got some sushi, just a little bit to share, and then we all ended up getting the same thing. Valentina's like, I'm in the mood for some for fish. Like, I just need a fish dinner. And they had this fried fish tempura fish meal in like a really heavy teriyaki with lots of veggies and rice and stuff like that. And it was excellent. All 3 of us really enjoyed it. And we got really great drinks, just not cocktails, just, fruit drinks or whatever. That's as the thing that you do in Central America instead of sodas. And dessert came with it too, like small cheesecake and chocolate ice cream and stuff. So that was our dinner, and it was really, really nice. We enjoyed that a lot. So we headed back to the room, and it was getting kind of late. And then the one last thing we did is we went out walking again, pretty close to 9, just because we wanted some snacks. We wanted to get some bottled water. We wanted to get some chips, just to have something in the room. So we went out and did that, and managed to find like one place that was open. Now, we didn't venture up into the town. We were just in the little tourist, tiny streets that you can barely, if you watch my shorts, I show some of the streets and how tight they are. That's all the farther we went. We didn't venture anywhere else. Tonight, that is for tomorrow. So we got back, went to bed, I did some editing, got a video uploading. It's a struggle. Our internet here is only 6x3, so it's fast enough to work, but it's a struggle. Apparently the whole town is on a wireless link, which makes sense because you're in a volcanic lake. There's where would a cable come from, right? It would have to come over one of the mountains. So they're shooting the internet in, and it does go out as an entire town from time to time. So that was our first day getting out to Atitlan. We're excited to be exploring this lake behind me more over the next few days. Please remember to like and subscribe, ask your questions, leave your comments below. Our little community just keeps growing and exploding, and by the time you see this video, our expectation is we're going to be above the 1,000 viewer mark. We've been growing pretty steadily over the last several days. And as I record this, we're at 980 and growing pretty quickly. So by the time you see it, 1,000 should be, I think, on the day that this posts. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow from Lake Atitlan.